So, Nick, Dallas Cowboys first-round draft pick Tyler Smith. At first, turned people's heads. They're like, who's this guy? First-round grade Tyler Smith. Turns out, quite the player, and he has even been turning heads in minicamp.
Yeah, so Clarence Hill at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram had a piece about Tyler Smith's first few days at rookie minicamp in Dallas. Hill wrote, as first days go, things couldn't have gone better for Dallas Cowboys first-round pick Tyler Smith. The Fort Worth native, who played at North Crowley before blossoming into an NFL prospect at Tulsa, signed a 4-year, $13.38 million fully guaranteed rookie contract Friday morning. He then took the field at left guard at rookie minicamp and made a quick impression on his coaches. Mike McCarthy said, quote, "You can see the twitch is something that jumps out at you. I thought he had a really nice day." Smith went on to say, "It felt good. I surprised myself. You never know how something is going to go for the first day, but going through the steps today, going through the team, I felt I had a pretty good period. There's much to improve on, and I look forward to doing that for sure." All right, Miles. So obviously Smith looks good. It's rookie minicamp, first-round pick. Excited for him. I think he's a good prospect. We can go into the details of why he's a good player later. But I kind of am looking at what the Cowboys are doing here with Smith. I think this is part of a larger message to two players in particular, and that's Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard, both running backs for Dallas. Tony Pollard is going into his contract year. He's slated to be a free agent after the season. Ezekiel Elliott is going to be under contract potentially for much longer, but after this year, Dallas could cut him and actually save salary cap dollars. This is a message to both those players that they need to go out and produce big time. It's clear Dallas, through their offseason moves and their draft picks, they're all about getting back to running the football and then using receivers for big plays over the top mainly. That involves Elliott and Pollard doing the dirty work, getting 5, 6, 7, 8 yards a pop when the holes are there, lowering their head, getting 3 yards when there isn't a hole there, and breaking the big runs. Pollard's shown flashes. Elliott has not over the last few years as he's battled some injuries. I think this is a message to both those running backs. They need to have huge seasons. There's no excuses. They got better and younger at the offensive line with the draft pick of Smith. It's time for the running backs to produce.
Absolutely, Nick. And per PFF, last year, Dallas had the highest graded offensive line in the NFL. They've been known to do this numerous years. I'd say in the last 5 years, they've been in the top 5 every single year. Now, I know they've lost a couple of players, but they've gained players and impact players like Smith. And I challenge you to name 5 to 7 other offensive lines that are better than Dallas right now. And I don't think there is. So they're top tier O-line, and they have the potential, if everybody pans out, to be even higher, top 3 offensive line. And I think that's what Jerry has been saying. Listen, we had one of the best offensive lines in the NFL last year when everybody's healthy. Zeke, Tony, you need to produce. It's make it or break it. Like you said, Pollard in his contract year, and Elliott is in more of the what I would call a make it or break it year, where you could either go on and get the rest of your contract, or we decide we have an out, we can cut you, save a little bit of money. So, but the most interesting prospect to me is Tony Pollard. Going behind a guy like Tyler Smith, who had an incredible 94 run blocking grade last season with Tulsa, is something to be excited about. Because Pollard, to me, when I see him run, he's an extremely explosive spellback who almost match Zeke's yardage. He had 719 yards last year on a pretty high 5.5 yards per carry. He seemed to be a really explosive player when it came time to do that. And if you can get Smith out in space, getting some impact blocks, that really opens up those big plays from Pollard. And I think that's a pretty big investment, well spent by Jerry Jones.
Well, yeah, and especially since Smith adds some youth and some depth to an offensive line that was getting a little older, had some injury concerns. Tyron Smith's missed a few games. Obviously, left guard with Connor Williams and Connor McGovern was kind of a revolving door last season. They switched between both players as the year went on, both due to injuries and performance. So Smith brings both depth and stability. And like you said, that should be extremely good news for Tony Pollard. And 5.5 yards per carry, that's not just good. That's outstanding. I mean, when you're 4.5, will generally be among the league leaders. To get 5.5 is it speaks mounds to his incredible explosiveness and playmaking ability. But again, I think he needs to put up a similar kind of season, or at least comparable. And really, Elliott needs to elevate his game tremendously. He had a hot start in 2021. Injuries and slow performance kind of tailed off, and it really limited their offense. I mean, late in the season, they kind of tried to run the football more against quality opponents. It didn't work against the 49ers in the playoff game. It didn't work against the Arizona Cardinals in a tough late season loss. They need to go back to their identity, which is running the football, play action, big plays over the top. Tyler Smith is a massive upgrade of their offensive line, no pun intended. But I think Elliott needs to take advantage of this. I think Pollard will, and I think Dallas will probably lock him to a long-term deal. The real question mark to me is Elliott. Is he going to come and turn his career around and go back to his superstar ways, or is he going the Todd Gurley route? And right now, he's got no excuses. It's time for him to put up.